something special about slowing down and connecting with those closest to us.
What's up guys, Gabe here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the pre-production of one of our recent commercial productions with our client Fishing Booker. Now, Fishing Booker is actually a pretty cool concept. They are essentially like an Airbnb for charter boats. If you are interested in fishing, you want to go out and rent a boat for a few hours or for a few days with your buddies to be able to go fish. Fishing Booker is a website that allows and facilitates that rental process. Now, this was a really fun production because we actually were able to rent out a boat on their platform and spend the day out with some talent, really just soaking up the sun, fishing, and filming our commercial. Now, as much as that was very fun, this was honestly one of the more stressful productions because for anyone that has filmed out in the open water, you can definitely relate when I say that it's stressful and very anxiety inducing with having expensive equipment, drones in the middle of the ocean, all these different lights and different things, basically on a small boat that can easily rock and things can fall off and get wet. So we definitely had to take into precaution what we were taking with us, who was on the boat. We didn't have a big crew by any means. We pretty much had a 4 or 5 person crew and 2 talent and some PAs and stuff, and that was pretty much it. We really couldn't have enough space for a full 12 to 15 person crew because of the size of the boat. Now, with that being said, I do want to peel back the curtain a little bit and just show you guys a little bit about what went on in the pre-production process for this when it comes to talent casting, to getting scripts approved, any props and equipment that we needed. Since we were on a boat pretty much for the entirety of the project, we definitely needed to make sure that we weren't missing anything, that we had lunch and props and equipment really accounted for beforehand, because once we got on the boat, there was no turning back. So we needed to be over prepared for this project and make sure that everyone was on the same page and we had everything that we needed. So when we first got the brief from the client, they didn't have any specific ideas or concepts that they had, but they did have this overarching concept of leaning into fishing as this generational bond that you can share with your dad or your grandfather, rather than just an activity that you go out and do with anybody. Now, this was really good for us to give us some direction and to know that this was going to be more of a storytelling commercial rather than just an explainer or a promo video for their product. Now, our original idea was to have 3 generations, meaning a son, a father, and a grandfather on the boat, being able to share a moment together fishing and have some nice VO with some nice drone and tight shots on the boat. So once we realized that the boat was going to be too small to fit all 3 talent, we had to pivot and find another creative way to actually approach this project. So what we ended up doing was focusing all the attention on the son and the father, and having the father have a few moments where he would look down, find an old photo of him and his father fishing, and he would put it on the dashboard of the boat. Now, what this did was actually resonate with the audience, showing that the father was actually remembering times that he had fishing with his dad and would bring back that generational bond that the client was looking for. Once we came up with this, we put together some storyboards and we sent it off to the client for approval, and they absolutely loved it. Now the real pre-production starts of finding crew, talent, and locations, and all the fun stuff. So let's dive into that. So now that the client approved the concept, it's our job to get into the second phase of pre-production. I always like to say that there's 2 parts to pre-production, because the first part is really getting the concept, the script, all the storyboards, all that stuff down, and then the second part from a producer standpoint is making sure that logistics, planning locations, permits, casting crew, equipment, all that stuff is taken care of before we even get on set. So now it's our turn to do that, and I'm making sure that we have cast, crew. We rely a lot on our partners over at Talent Direct. Thank you so much, Talent Direct and Bianca, for being awesome partners when it comes to helping out with talent casting. We were able to cast a son and a father, not related, but we actually had, we were able to find someone that actually looked that they could be related, and it worked out perfectly. Now, in terms of equipment, we didn't need a lot of equipment. We actually shot on a red Komodo camera package with some lenses, and we didn't really need a lot of lighting because we were shooting in the middle of the day and we were really relying on the natural light of the sun. We did bring some negs, some reflectors, some diffusion, and I think we did bring a pair of some Nanlite Pavo tubes in case we did want to just enhance the light some places. But that's really it, especially since we had limited space on the boat. We really couldn't bring a lot of equipment to weigh us down and to take up a lot of space. Now, we did end up renting some monitors and some extra batteries from our good friends over at Lens Pro to Go. Not sponsored, but we're just really happy with the service that we get from them, and we love them, and we always rent from them. So shout out Lens Pro to go. Then all we really needed to do was send out some call sheets, put together our last and final day of production schedule. And this is usually something that I do with our DP and our director. Kind of just sit down with them and see what shots do we want to get at which times based on the position of the sun, the lighting. And I usually just try to put the storyboards along with the corresponding script or VO that goes with that shot, just so everyone knows and is on the same page in terms of what is the motivation behind the shot, what is the idea and the purpose of the shot, just so everyone's on the same page and knows exactly what we're doing. And that's pretty much the last thing that goes out. One thing that we did do for this project, since we didn't have a wardrobe or style person, we just put together a simple kind of style guide for our talent based off of the brand guide that the client sent us for their brand. And this was really just as a reference for them to see what they had in their closet in terms of colors, shirts, shorts, different types of hats and stuff like that we could use and they could wear the day of production. And this is important just to make sure that the talent knows what they're going to be wearing. It'd be really unfortunate if they just show up to set with whatever they're wearing, with it's a red shirt and the client's brand is blue. It won't work out, and you need to make sure that you're prepared for that and making sure that you know exactly what you're getting when it comes to your talent, and that way that they are better prepared and they know what they're getting themselves into. So I know a lot of people don't really do this, but I do want to peel back the curtain on the budget and really break down what really goes on financially on some of these commercial productions, and really just show you guys how things add up, how things can cost money, what things cost, and just being, again, completely transparent, because I feel like that's how people learn, and really truly not having anything to hide. So with that being said, I do want to just to give you guys a quick little breakdown. The ending invoice amount for this project was $16,500. This was the budget that a client gave us right from the get-go, so this is exactly what it cost them. Now, from that, our crew expense came out to a grand total of $7,100. That included our DP, our grip, our first AC, our producer, director, and I think we did have a PA. I'm not 100% sure, but it covered about 5 or 6 people. Again, keep in mind that this is not a full-blown 3-day, 4-day production. This was a simple 1.5 day production with really like a small 4 or 5 person team. And this is not in comparison to what actually goes on some of these bigger commercial sets. I don't want to go deeper into different rates because depending on where you are and where you live, rates could really vary, but just know that $7,100 was our ending cost for our crew. So other associated expenses were a VO artist that we hired for $350 for the final commercial, about $480 for Lens Pro to go equipment rentals. This was different batteries, I think a monitor and some lenses that we rented. Another $200 just in food, some things that I had mentioned, just buying some burgers and stuff for our crew that we can grill on the boat when we were having lunch. And we did also spend $1,500 on the actual boat rental itself. Fishing Booker did help facilitate the sourcing of the boat, but we did have to still take the cost of the rental out of the budget to pay for the vendor that was renting it for us. So aside from crew, the other associated expenses were $2,539.39, which brings our grand total of project expenses down to $9,639.39, which, if you do the math, that comes out to a $6,860 profit. Again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I love being transparent and just showing you guys what it takes to really put something on like this, and just taking you guys back into the pre-production process and showing you what it really takes to put on a production, what things cost, how they break down, and how you can actually make a profit on some of these projects. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stick around for the next video. Definitely will be making more of these in the future. And with that being said, take care and peace.
There's something special about slowing down and connecting with those closest to us. Fishing isn't just a hobby. It's a thread that weaves through generations. A timeless bond that brings us together. At Fishing Booker, we believe in the power of these connections. Discover the joy of fishing, book your adventure, and create lasting memories with Fishing Booker, because the bond of fishing is one that carries on for generations. Visit fishingbooker.com and book your trip today.